In this module, we are going to talk about questionnaires. In a survey, questionnaires play a major role because questionnaires is the instrument through which the data is collected. So, using a questionnaire forms an important facet in a quantitative research. If we are measuring physical quantities like weight, you have an instrument. If you have pressure, voltage, or temperature, you have instruments like thermometer, voltmeter, speedometer, and so on. However, when you are measuring social quantities like job satisfaction, happiness, quality of life, emotional intelligence, meaning in life, and so on, there are no instruments to measure happiness, no instrument to measure job satisfaction or emotional intelligence or meaning in life per se. So at that time, we need measures, proxy measures, in order to measure them. And these proxy measures are questionnaires. A measurement system works something like this. Now, what is a construct? Construct is an abstraction of a concept. Emotional intelligence is a construct. Job satisfaction is a construct. It is a concept, an abstract concept. These abstract concepts are demystified in using operational definitions to a measurement scale. And this measurement scale would be a single factor or multi-factor. A single factor construct is called as a unidimensional construct. Like a job satisfaction can be measured as a unidimensional and also as a multidimensional. Like emotional intelligence, we can ask somebody how emotionally intelligent you are. Also, we can divide emotional intelligence into four dimensions like self awareness, others emotion uh, awareness, or self emotions management, and others emotions management. So a construct could be classified as a unidimensional or as a multidimensional measurement system. So when you are defining your constructs, we need to define the construct as a unidimensional or as a multidimensional construct. Take, for instance, job satisfaction can be measured by a five item measure. Like in this case, I would say, take a moment to think about what makes your job. Please respond truthfully to this statement. And the statements are I feel fairly well satisfied with my present job. Most of the days, I am enthusiastic about my work and so on. So these statements in combination measures the job satisfaction. Similarly, job satisfaction could be measured as a single item construct, like taking everything into consideration. How do you feel about your job as a whole? So you understood here that a job satisfaction can be measured as a multidimensional and a single dimensional. What is the difference between measuring something multidimensionally and a single dimensionally? In a multidimensionally, you are capturing various facets of it, whereas in a single dimension, you are just capturing one important facet. When are you going to use a single item scale and a multi-item scale? A single item is scale is used when in your study, this is not the main construct. Rather, it could be a moderating construct. Whereas if it is a focal construct or a main dependent variable, then usually you use a multi-item scales. So you need to be careful when you're designing a questionnaire, whether you are capturing a construct as a multi-dimensional item or a single dimensional item. A scale. Suppose if you are doing a research and your constructs like emotional intelligence, service orientation, job satisfaction, job uh, performance, and so on. These types of scales are existing for a long time, and this can be used in previous studies. The scales wherein these scales were used, these scales can be used by us for our study. So one of the requirement is that the scale should be used as it is. or some minor modification be done as regards to the context of application. Take, for instance, the previous scale was used in hospitality sector and you are using in a power sector or a finance sector. So small tinkering are allowed. However, deleting some items is such a things are not allowed. If at all in your study you are studying something wherein there is no scale is existing, at that time you have to develop the scale, and this exercise is called as scale development. Now when you are using a scale, what should be the response format? Usually we use a Likert scale, like 3-point Likert scale when the quick response is needed. A 5 and a 7-point scale is most widely used because it gives you greater precision. However, if you are doing accurate statistical analysis, a 10-point Likert scale is preferred because it has more number of categories and you get a higher standard deviation. But there is a catch in it. If you are giving a survey, a human ability to successfully differentiate between categories comes down when it is more than 7. The human ability to successfully differentiate between the categories comes down. So usually 5 or 7-point scale is most widely used. However, for suppose if you want to measure in one, maybe an important dependent variable, you want to measure it very precisely, then a 10-point scale could be used. However, having the full questionnaire with the 10-point scale sometimes could be a challenge, and it can lead to low response rate, or it can lead to biased response rate, because it is impossible, sometimes very difficult for a respondents to accurately uh, grade an item into a 10-point scale unless the grading is like in a uniform, done in a uniform manner. This brings us into this module.